So let's start out by understanding the difference between a branding statement and an elevator pitch. First of all, let's move towards the introduction and understand what is the difference between a branding statement and an elevator pitch. So first of all, let's go and look around what is a branding statement. So basically, a branding statement is a short statement that could be used on the top of your CV or a resume. It is comprised of 8 to 15 words. It is in between 8 to 15 words and it is short in size, and it is a line that expresses about yourself in terms of the job you're going to apply. So as a whole, a branding statement is a statement that represents yourself. It is short and crisp, and it is in line towards the job description, and we will be looking at the job descriptions later on. So this is a branding statement. So what is an actual elevator pitch? So basically imagine a scenario that you are going to for an in-person job. We'll be discussing that what are the impacts of doing a in-person job in today's world. So imagine you're going for a scenario and you meet someone of the person of the HR here, you are in the elevator pitch. So the moment you're going to get into the elevator pitch and you have that almost 30 to 60 seconds of actually going from one floor to the other, that is the point where you have to go ahead and pitch yourself to that HR representative. So that is the part where we are going to understand what is an elevator pitch. So elevator pitch is comprised of around 30 to 60 seconds, and it is of many in written scenario. It is about 15 to 30 words because it is used as the objective statement in your CVs, resumes. On the other hand, it could be used on your LinkedIn profiles or social media platforms as well. But in a scenario where you are in an elevator, an actual elevator with someone, or the person you have met someone who is going a potential person who is going to hire you, in that scenario you can actually change it in terms of adding it or making it longer depending on the scenario. So it actually gives a very good first impression. It assists in your in-person drops, and it could be used on social media platforms. And once again, this one thing that is common in the elevator pitch and the branding statement, that is the expressions in line toward the job. So you have to understand the job description or the needs of the firm that you're going to apply for. In that scenario, after understanding that, you would be actually developing your elevator pitch and your branding statement. So as well as we talked about earlier on, and by the end of the session we will be understanding our passions. So when you know your passions and what job you really want, then your elevator pitch would always be in line towards that specific job that you would be looking up to. So let's move on towards that how we are supposed to develop a branding statement. So what are the characteristics that are supposed to be there in the branding statement? So first of all, you have to answer some of the questions that you have in your mind in order to develop in a branding statement. First of all, you have to look at what skills, qualities, or characteristics that you have that are going to give you a distinctive edge over others. And then you have to actually understand that what are your accomplishments so far, and then you have to note down your personal traits or specific skill set that you have that are going to actually help you and add value, and those specific skill sets are the ones that are going to add value to the business of the person you're going to apply for or the firm that you're going to apply for. So let's talk about some examples. For example, a person who is going to actually go for a job of human resource strategist. So poised to deliver success-proven operations and human resources management methodologies in management roles. On the other hand, if someone is going for a project manager, he is going to be delivering excellence in operations management, design implementation, and strategic collaborative problem solving to the industrial construction industry. So specifically what are the points that are being followed. Once again, these are the specific points. They're talked about their skill set or the achievement they have in the past, and then they have started to add value in the firm. Now let's move towards some examples that I have that are a bit simpler. So for example, when I represent myself as an entrepreneur, I use creative, visionary, and intellectual dedicated entrepreneur towards simultaneous accomplishment. On a similar scenario where I'm supposed to go and apply for a training job, I use a creative, dedicated, and a passionate trainer focused towards simultaneous practical accomplishments. It depends on you that how you are going to represent yourself and what are the experiences and expertise you have, and they are aligned in terms of the actual branding statement that you're going to use. So when you don't have that much space in your CVs or resumes, if you feel comfortable enough that you have some experience and background knowledge in your CV that is going to explain your overall branding statement, then you can actually use this, or otherwise you can add the detailed description, and that is your elevator pitch. So let's move on toward the elevator pitch and then how we are supposed to make an elevator pitch. So here we have to look at that, elevator should be brief, it should be persuasive, you should be sharing about your skills, and you should be positive, and you should be in a position to have a flexible elevator pitch. In a scenarios where you meet someone, or in a scenario that you are going to apply for different jobs, you can add on and add, get some stuff out of it as well in terms of actual job description that you're going to have. You have to actually mention your goals that are once again the value that you're going to add in terms of the improvement in that business. And you should know your audience. For example, if you are going to meet someone for in-person job, or so in that specific scenario, you should actually go online, or actually meet someone, a mutual friend or person who knows that HR person that you're going to meet, in order to know their personal achievements so far in that firm, or the actual new projects of the firm. In that case, when you're going to talk to them, you have to actually get their attention by actually talking about a recent project or the achievement that specific person has. So for example, we'll be looking for the example shortly. So in case of a personal meetup, in a CV, if you have, you should keep your CV in hand, and then you would be pitching yourself and then handing over your CV for an in-person talk. So another thing is that you have to practice a lot. You have to practice and practice in terms of actually developing a good elevator pitch. So in my experience that I've trained people, you should actually write 2 hand-page written documents, detailed and elaborative in terms of your past background, your expertise, experience, and how you would be adding value, and how you would be going to showing you would be showing your passion to the person that is you're going to apply for. So here then you would be shrinking those paragraphs into 3 to 5 lines in terms of your written, and in terms of your spoken you can actually look up to your convenience. So let's talk about an examples here as well. So I recently graduated from college with a degree in communications. I work on the college newspaper as a reporter and eventually as the editor of the art section. I'm looking for a job that will put my skills as a journalist to work. So here, they have talked about their past background and their experiences, and then how the, what are the future possibilities they're looking up to. So I have, actually taken that statement out, and I have actually chunked it into 4 different points. So you are going to start off by actually making a hook in the mindset of that person. For example, if you're going to meet some HR person, you should know their past achievements, so you would be talking about that, and it would be giving a positive impact, and then they would be in a position to actually talk to you about that, how you actually know about them. In a similar scenario, if you know about that firm, you'll be talking about the recent project that is going to actually gain their attention. Then you'll be talking briefly about your background, and then you would be actually talking about your expertise or skill set, or the result oriented strategy, that what results you have caused in in your previous expertise, and then you will be showing your passion, that why you actually want to join that firm. Let's move on to it another example. So for first, we're going to add a hook in their mindset. For example, you may meet a person or a company that actually is doing research on COVID-19 vaccine. So you'll be going after like this: the recent project by firm ABC in development of COVID-19 vaccine is a world-saving project. So in a similar scenario, if it's an oil firm or any other firm, you'll be talking about the recent project or some achievements of that specific person. Then you're moving on towards, I have majors in lab testing and vaccine development with specialization in microbiology. For example, you have some other expertise and what you have in the past. Then you'll be talking about that, what improvements you have got in the field from your past experiences. So I am in the field since 4 years. I have personally supervised the vaccine for COVID older traits in the past. So you can add that what expertise you have in relevance of that job you're going to apply for. And then you'll be talking about that, I really want to prove my expertise and working around people who are very determined and passionate towards life saving is my utmost desire. So you can add a passion statement that is going to actually represent, or you can talk about the culture that they have with that organization, or something that is relevant in terms of showing your passion and willingness to work for that firm. So as a whole, you can actually make these four different paragraphs and then check them down and make 5 to 6 lines, and then you can make a single paragraph out of it, and you can actually customize that in terms of when you're going to write it on your CV, and then when you would be in a position to actually go and talk to someone in person, that would be a different scenario. So that was all for an overall branding statement and the elevator pitch.